What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at the 2025 Toyota Camry. This one is an XSE finished off in Reservoir Blue with an MSRP at $39,200. Big shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville. Check their website, links down below. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Toyota Camry, you're only gonna find one engine option, which is a hybrid. This is a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder with front wheel drive. All-wheel drive is also available. For this one, net horsepower is 225, torque is around 163, and it has an eCVT transmission. This car runs on a 13-gallon fuel tank, curb weight is 3,600 pounds, and you can expect 48 miles per gallon in the city with 47 out on the highway. The overall length is 193.5 inches with wheelbase at 111.2, width is 72.4, and height is 56.9 inches. Moving on to the styling. For 2025, this is the all-new Toyota Camry, and I really like the overall look. It's super sharp and sporty, and for the XSE, this body-colored front grille I think looks really cool. You're gonna get a nice set of LED headlights, and I like the daytime running light cutting through that body panel. The upper grille cuts into those headlights as well with two small openings. It's got your Toyota badge up in front, and then this massive center grille has a huge opening to provide extra cooling. We also have LED lights in the far corners with some gloss black trim that are also functional vents to provide some airflow. I think overall it's a pretty sporty looking economy car. Definitely has a cool style all around, and I just love that upper grille. You can see some sharp body lines throughout the hood, heading towards the windshield, and then smooth lines on that front fender. We get a nice set of two-tone wheels finished off with an 18-inch diameter. Then we have a sharp line throughout the fender arch. Sharp lines throughout the side profile as well as the side skirt. And then we have body colored door handles and body colored mirror caps. Got some chrome trim along with your turn signal, and then all black trim throughout the side windows. More black trim for the B and C pillars, and then this one even gets a black roof with a panoramic glass panel. For the side profile, it's about what you would expect for any mid-size sedan. Nice sharp style, overall very similar to the previous generation. And then as we make our way in back, those sharp lines lead their way into the LED taillights. Nice design with the red, and then you have a black trim piece connecting the two. It says Camry written out, got your Toyota badge, and then a nice gloss black lip spoiler. Got all your badging throughout the back for XSE and hybrid, and then a body colored rear diffuser with some sporty fins. You have dual exhaust tips on the driver's side, and overall the style really comes together to give this a nice up-to-date look. Taking a look at the key fob, you're gonna get lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic, and it says Camry on the backside. I can go ahead and lock the car, and then all you have to do is grab the door handle. It's gonna automatically unlock, and we can check out the interior. The XSE trim is gonna get a genuine leather interior, which is a really nice touch to see. You're gonna see all black throughout the door panel. There's some softer touch plastic up above, and then I like this leather insert with the perforations, silver trim piece going right into that door handle, and then you can see all of your controls down below. Got your grab handle, padded armrest, storage down below that, and then all power controls on the seat. We have our adjustable lumbar support, then a combination of smooth black leather with the perforations. The perforations even have a blue throughout each of those holes, which is a really cool touch specifically for this spec. So definitely a cool touch. Toyota uses that blue for the hybrids, which is a cool way to go. You're gonna get a nice leather wrapped steering wheel finished off in black. You can just have some black trim. And then now inside the 2025 Camry XSE, keep my foot on the brake, we can fire it up. Now being a hybrid, the engine isn't necessarily going to start up. You got your Toyota badge right in the center, then a couple controls on this left side, Bluetooth and audio. We have all the cruise control over here, along with a couple other icons. For the gauge cluster, you can see the full digital screen. We have the Eco on the left side, as well as your power and charge. And then you can go through a few different menus. You can have 3 different screens basically that you can configure. And then if I hold down the OK icon, you can configure each one individually. So you can get all sorts of different info in the center, as well as the left side. You can see EV information, things like that. And then on the far right side, same sort of deal with a few more things like trip and the energy. You do have paddle shifters on the left and right side, and then we have the stalk on the right for windshield wipers, turn signal and headlights over on the left. Down below, we get automatic high beams, traction control, trunk release and fuel cap, some soft touch on the dash with some gloss black near your air vents, and then for the dashboard itself, a soft touch material as well. I like this trim for the air vents that cuts its way right into the center multimedia screen, integrated nicely into the dash. Once set up, you'll have your full screen nav. Of course, you have all of your audio controls, phone integration as well. And you're going to get a lot of information throughout the screen. For climate, you can go under, see a few things like that. We have comfort information for that heated steering wheel. Trip info you can go into and get a good idea of how the vehicle's running, and then any alerts if they are. All your settings, of course, and then popping it into reverse, you have a pretty nice backup camera with a couple different views. For climate controls, you're going to get all of them down here on these nice toggles with an integrated screen. Got your heated seats as well, heated steering wheel, 2 air vents in the center, and then plugs and wireless charging throughout the middle. There's a lot of storage throughout this center, which is nice to see. And then for your gear selector, we can shift your transmission, and we have drive modes. You have your Eco, Normal, and Sport. Pops up on the gauge cluster as well with a nice graphic. And then there is EV driving capability. If we go into EV mode, depending on the battery, you can see it in the far left side, it'll turn on, and you can drive this in slow speeds fully electric. Got your brake hold as well. Nice padding on this armrest. And then popping this open, we have a ton of hidden space. Glove box on the far right side. Nice large bucket as expected. And then one last look at the interior. I think the 2025 Camry really does come together nicely, especially on an XSE. You have nice use of materials. And then we have that massive panoramic sunroof up above, all those controls, and then we have a thin mirror with your garage door buttons. Taking a look at the rear seat space, I can just grab the handle and open it up. Door panel's finished off similar to the front. You're gonna get a little bit harder plastics and then still some soft touch materials. You have the same seating surfaces all back here with the nice perforations throughout it. This can seat 3 people. And then the middle seat, we can pull this downwards for an armrest and cup holders. There are air vents back here along with a couple plugs. There's even storage behind both of the front seats. And then hopping into the back seat with the Toyota Camry at 5'11", I do sit here pretty good. Headroom, got a couple inches, and then of course with that panoramic roof, it comes into this back area, which is a really good touch. Legroom with the driver's seat at my height, pretty good for my knees. My feet have a couple inches as well, and the seat base seems to cradle me pretty well. So if you're looking to buy this car maybe for a family sedan, honestly, I think you can fit grown-ups in the back, kids in the back, car seats in the back as well. So definitely a pretty nicely appointed back seat. Moving on to the cargo space, there's gonna be a hidden button right underneath here, and we can manually pop open the trunk. You're gonna get around 14 cubic feet of cargo space in here. It's nice and large, and you have a pretty low load floor as well. And then for the rear seats, you have these pull tabs we can just pop and get the seats down. With them folded, you can see there's a small bump into that cabin. However, it'll definitely open up the cargo space overall. Seats are gonna fold down nice and flat. And then as you can tell, the pretty large opening in the back really helps give this a lot of practicality for people as well as cargo. All right, so setting off now in the Camry, I've already pressed the EV mode and we are in the pure electric mode, which is ideal for slow speeds and parking lots. So we're gonna be staying in electric mode for a little bit, and then it will beep at me in a little bit once we exceed its limits. So right there, now the engine has kicked on and we're out of the EV mode. So it's nice, this being just a standard hybrid, not a plug-in hybrid, to where you can use that EV system in those slow speeds, maybe just pulling your car out of your driveway or something real quick. You don't have to worry about starting up the engine. So with the eCVT, it also gives you a really good power delivery when you're just getting up and going. This Camry is pretty nice to drive overall. I will say, being the XSE, it's got the sport tuned suspension. The seats are also a little bit on the stiffer side compared to maybe some other trim levels. However, overall, it's a pretty comfortable vehicle. You know, we're not going too fast just yet, but as we pick up some speed, you know, it's still a comfortable, smooth driving vehicle. So definitely nice and roomy to be in here. It feels like a good size. It doesn't feel cramped even in the slightest. And it overall drives pretty nice and smooth. I think the transmission, for being technically a CVT at the end of the day with no gears, you know, doesn't just whine like your typical one. I feel like the hybrid system has been really integrated nicely just to make this a pleasant car to drive, and it does feel a little sporty. It has a little bit of a sporty touch to it. The steering feel is nice as well, not too heavy or not too light. Turning radius is pretty decent, and the backup camera is pretty HD as well. If we go into sport mode now, you can take manual control, shift either here or with the paddles. Being a CVT, technically, again, there's no gears. However, it just allows you to hold RPM a little bit different. And barely touching the gas, I mean, we're up to speed without really thinking. So it seems like a really well-balanced powertrain. Being a larger 4-cylinder, some vehicles might have a smaller 4-cylinder engine. It gives you more of that grunt from the actual engine along with the EV system, to where I feel like it just drives nice and good for the power delivery. Nothing worse than having a sluggish car. This is not that at all. It is peppy, gets up to speed, and gets a really good gas mileage to just be a fantastic daily driver overall. Maybe the only complaints from a driver's perspective, the seats to me honestly feel a little stiff. I think the back doesn't really have much padding to it, so maybe that's my only complaint. I wouldn't mind more cushy seats. But overall, I think the car drives pretty smooth. It feels responsive. You know, has a little bit of a sporty touch when you're looking at a daily driver economy car that's, you know, nicer than your basic car. So my honest thoughts with the new Toyota Camry, it's been a little bit since I have checked one of these out. This color I really like a lot. Has a nice sporty flair to it, not really too metallic-y, more of a flatter blue, but looks pretty good. Again, I love the grille. I know a lot of people call it a cheese grater, and I see that style, but to me, I think it looks really cool. So it's a good, fun, sporty style for something without breaking the bank. And I think when you drive it is when you just kind of see what's so nice about it. It's just a nice, normal, easy to drive car with kind of everything you need without breaking the bank. Toyota, obviously they've been doing hybrids for over 2 decades, so we know we can trust this powertrain. And Toyota has really committed to hybrids and being, you can only get this in a hybrid. Now I know a lot of people are sad to see the V6 go. That's been a really good engine. A lot of people just love the robust nature to it. However, again, I think we can trust Toyota's hybrid systems, especially being a non-turbo engine. I don't think you're gonna have reliability issues. I think 300,000 miles, I think, is gonna be possible in these new Camrys, very much so. So again, my only complaint, the backrest, it feels like the lumbar is poking me in the back. There's not really much cushioning for my back. Other than that, though, everything else feels comfortable. Armrests are nice, the steering wheel feels good. It's an open, roomy car. The visibility is really easy to see around. There's nothing really to hate on, I think, with the Camry. It's just a good overall car. And that's probably why it's been America's #1 selling vehicle for such a long time. People love the Camrys. And we'll see if the new one continues to sell so well like we've seen in the past. For the drive modes, you know, if we go to eco mode, the car definitely tones down a little bit more. It does a bit better job of utilizing a lot of the EV system. The air conditioning even says eco now. And when you bump it into sport, you know, it does give you just that little extra pep. So I think they've done a really good job integrating the hybrid system. I don't hear or feel anything. So in this test drive today, at least, you know, it's super smooth. You can't really tell when it's EV mode, when it's engine mode, and only when you're really accelerating is when you can hear the engine start to rev. But it's quiet and smooth to where it doesn't just feel like a 4-cylinder trying to rev high or anything weird. So Toyota's done a good job with the hybrid system just to make this a smooth, easy car to drive. And with the gas mileage and range, I mean, you're talking well over 500 miles on a tank, which is pretty impressive on a smaller tank. So this is gonna be honestly a great car for road trip, family use. This is something you could use as your daily, and you know, you're gonna be filling up maybe every other week for 25 bucks. So I think it's a pretty economical car to get into. And even if you tone it down to an SE trim level in the low 30s, you're almost getting the exact same interior as this. Aside from the real leather, you're getting the Softex, but you know, you can really get a Camry without going crazy on price. And a lot of them are very well equipped, so you don't have to get a top of the line one just to get a lot of the really nice features. So I think they've priced the car well to where you don't have to sacrifice if you're not looking to spend top dollar on one of these. So that is about my ending thoughts for the 2025 Camry. Again, no real major complaints, just seats are a little on the stiffer side than I would prefer for something like this. Aside from that though, it seems like a solid choice. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and then check out Flow Toyota of Statesville for providing this car for today's video. Check their website, linked below, and I'll see you all in the next video.